Imagine this: you just bought a new car, a red one, and suddenly it feels like everyone else is driving red cars too. You see them everywhere. Or maybe you've had this experience. You're thinking about someone, and out of nowhere, they text you. You think, whoa, that must mean something, right? Actually, it doesn't. Your brain is playing tricks on you, and it's doing it all the time. From the choices you make to the beliefs you hold, your brain is secretly manipulating reality. The crazy part? You don't even notice it. That's because your mind runs on shortcuts, cognitive biases, patterns of thinking that help you make quick decisions. Most of the time, they're useful. But sometimes they warp your judgment, create false beliefs, and lead you into bad decisions without you even realizing it. So today, we're breaking down the most powerful cognitive biases that secretly control your life, and how you can start seeing reality for what it really is. Let's dive in. Your brain is an incredible machine. It processes information, solves problems, and helps you navigate the world. But here's the catch: it takes shortcuts. Instead of carefully analyzing everything, your brain uses cognitive biases, mental habits that help you make quick decisions. Most of the time, these shortcuts are useful. They save energy and help you react fast. But sometimes they trick you into seeing a distorted version of reality. Let's break down some of the biggest ways your brain manipulates the truth without you even noticing. Cognitive bias. Number 1, confirmation bias. Why you only see what you want to see. Imagine you believe that cats are evil. You go online and every article you read seems to confirm it. Cats knocking things over, staring at people like they're planning a murder. You think, see? I knew it. Cats are out to get us. But in reality, you ignored all the videos of cats cuddling, saving lives, or just being cute. This is confirmation bias, your brain's tendency to seek out information that supports what you already believe and ignore everything else. We all do this. If you think someone doesn't like you, you'll notice every little thing that seems unfriendly while ignoring their kind gestures. If you believe a certain diet works, you'll focus on success stories and dismiss studies that say otherwise. If you think the world is getting worse, you'll only pay attention to negative news, ignoring progress and good things happening around you. Your brain is filtering reality to protect your beliefs. Why does this happen? Because your brain hates being wrong. Being wrong feels uncomfortable. So instead of challenging our views, we seek out evidence that makes us feel right. The problem? This keeps us stuck. If we never question our beliefs, we never grow. How to break free? When you're convinced of something, ask yourself, what would it take to prove me wrong? Actively seek out opposing viewpoints. Don't just read what confirms what you already believe. Pay attention to the information you're ignoring. That's where real learning happens. Cognitive bias number 2, the availability heuristic. Why you think rare events are common. Ever been scared of flying because you heard about a plane crash? Or felt like the world is getting more violent because you see scary news every day? That's the availability heuristic. Your brain assumes that the more easily something comes to mind, the more common it must be. Here's how this messes with you. You hear about a shark attack on the news. Suddenly you feel like sharks are everywhere, when in reality the odds of getting attacked by a shark are 1 in 3.7 million. You see a lottery winner on TV and think, I should play the lottery, even though your chance of winning is 1 in 292 million. The news constantly reports violent crimes, making you believe crime is rising, when in many places crime rates are actually dropping. The problem? Your brain doesn't think in statistics, it thinks in stories. If something is dramatic, emotional, or repeated often, your brain believes it's happening all the time. How to break free? Don't trust your gut feeling about how common something is. Look at actual data. Remember, the news thrives on fear. Just because something is reported constantly doesn't mean it's a daily reality. Ask, is this actually happening a lot, or is it just memorable? Cognitive bias number 3, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Why the least knowledgeable people feel the smartest. Ever met someone who acts like they know everything, but clearly don't? That's the Dunning-Kruger effect, a psychological pattern where people with little knowledge overestimate their ability while experts doubt themselves. Why does this happen? Because when you know very little, you don't even realize how much you don't know. Beginners think they have it all figured out. Experts see the complexity and realize how much more there is to learn. It's like playing a video game for the first time and thinking, this is easy, until you get to the harder levels and realize you were clueless. Real-world examples. Bad drivers think they're great behind the wheel. New investors are giving financial advice after watching a few YouTube videos. Loud social media experts confidently debating topics they've barely researched. Meanwhile, true experts often second-guess themselves. They've seen how deep the subject goes, and that makes them cautious. How to break free. If you feel 100% sure about something, stop and ask, do I actually know enough to be this confident? Seek feedback from real experts, not just people who agree with you. Stay humble. The more you learn, the more you'll realize how much you don't know. Cognitive bias number 4. Negativity bias. Why your brain focuses on the bad stuff. Let's say you get 99 compliments and 1 insult. Which one do you think about all day? That 1 insult. That's negativity bias. Your brain's tendency to focus on negative experiences more than positive ones. This was useful for survival. Our ancestors needed to pay more attention to threats than good things. But today, it just makes us miserable. You dwell on past failures more than your successes. You remember embarrassing moments years later, but forget good times. You notice problems in your life more than your achievements. And guess what? The media knows this. That's why the news is mostly negative, because fear and anger get more attention than positivity. How to break free. Actively focus on the good. Write down positive moments at the end of the day. Realize that bad events feel bigger than they actually are. Zoom out and see the bigger picture. Limit negative media exposure. It's designed to keep you hooked. Cognitive bias number 5. The sunk cost fallacy. Why you keep holding on to bad decisions. Ever kept watching a terrible movie because you already paid for it? Or stayed in a bad relationship because you'd already invested so much time? That's the sunk cost fallacy, your brain's irrational fear of wasting resources. It makes you stay in a bad job because you've already spent years there. Hold on to losing investments instead of cutting your losses. Keep eating bad food just because you paid for it. The truth? The past is gone. The time, money, or energy you've already spent doesn't matter anymore. What matters is making the best choice moving forward. How to break free. Ask yourself, if I were starting fresh today, would I still make this decision? Don't let past investments dictate your future. It's okay to move on. Remember, sunk costs are already gone. Don't waste more. Your brain is a master trickster. These cognitive biases shape your thoughts, choices, and beliefs without you realizing it. Your brain means well. It wants to protect you, save time, and make decisions faster. But if you don't stay aware, these mental shortcuts can lead you astray. The key? Start questioning yourself. Are you seeing reality or just what your brain wants you to see? Are you making smart choices or just reacting automatically? Are you thinking critically or letting biases control your life? Because the moment you start challenging your own thoughts, that's when you truly take control of your mind. By now, you know that your brain is full of cognitive biases, mental shortcuts that help you make quick decisions but sometimes distort reality. But here's the real question. How do these biases actually impact your daily life? The truth is, they control you in more ways than you think. They shape your money decisions, relationships, career choices, self-esteem, and even your happiness. Let's break down how these biases secretly influence your life and what you can do to fight back. 1. Your money choices are not as rational as you think. Ever made a bad financial decision but convinced yourself it was the right one? That's because your brain hates admitting mistakes. And cognitive biases make sure you keep justifying bad decisions instead of correcting them. Why you hold on to losing investments. Imagine you invested in a business, stock, or crypto. It's clearly going downhill, but instead of pulling out, you tell yourself, I've already put so much money into this. I can't back out now. Maybe it'll turn around if I just wait a little longer. Your brain doesn't want to accept losses. So instead of cutting your losses and moving on, you throw in more money, time, and energy, even when the smart choice is to walk away. How to fight it? Ask yourself, if I were making this decision fresh today, Would I still do it? If the answer is no, let it go. Confirmation bias. Why you only see what supports your beliefs. Let's say you believe a certain investment strategy works. Instead of researching both sides, your brain only looks for evidence that proves you right. If your investment is going up, you think, see, I knew this was smart. If it's going down, you find a reason to justify it. Maybe the market is just temporarily bad. This is why so many people get trapped in financial bubbles. They only listen to what confirms their beliefs and ignore warning signs. How to fight it. Whenever you feel 100% certain about a financial decision, force yourself to read opposing viewpoints. The best investors are the ones who question their own thinking. 2. Your relationships are built on mental shortcuts. Your cognitive biases don't just mess with your money, they control how you see other people. Negativity bias. Why you focus on the worst in others. Let's say your partner or friend does 10 nice things and one annoying thing. Which one do you remember? The annoying thing. This is negativity bias. Your brain pays more attention to negative experiences than positive ones. It was useful in ancient times to spot threats, but today it destroys relationships. Instead of appreciating what people do right, you focus on what they do wrong. Instead of noticing how much someone supports you, you dwell on the one time they didn't. Instead of seeing someone's overall kindness, you fixate on their occasional mistakes. How to fight it. Train your brain to actively notice and appreciate the good in people. Try keeping a positivity journal. Write down one good thing about a person every day. The fundamental attribution error. Why you judge others harshly. Picture this. A stranger cuts you off in traffic. You think, what a terrible person. Later, you accidentally cut someone off. But instead of blaming yourself, you think, I was in a hurry, it wasn't my fault. See the difference? When someone else makes a mistake, you assume it's because of their personality. They're rude, careless, or selfish. But when you make a mistake, you blame the situation. You were stressed, tired, or distracted. This is the fundamental attribution error. Your brain assumes that other people's behavior is a reflection of who they are, while excusing your own behavior as a temporary situation. How to fight it. Next time someone annoys you, ask yourself, could there be another explanation? Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they didn't notice. Give people the same grace you give yourself. 3. Your self-doubt and confidence are affected by biases. Cognitive biases don't just affect how you see others, they also control how you see yourself. Why you might be overconfident or doubt yourself too much. Ever noticed how the loudest, most confident people often don't know what they're talking about? Meanwhile, the real experts often doubt themselves. People with low knowledge overestimate their skills, while people with high knowledge tend to question themselves. Beginners think they're geniuses. Experts realize how much they don't know. This means that sometimes the people who doubt themselves the most are actually the most capable. How to fight it? If you're feeling too confident, pause and ask yourself, do I really know enough to be this sure? If you struggle with self-doubt, remind yourself, feeling uncertain doesn't mean you're wrong, it just means you're aware. Imposter syndrome. Why you feel like a fraud. Ever accomplished something but felt like you didn't deserve it? That's imposter syndrome. Your brain convinces you that your success was just luck, even when you worked hard for it. You get a promotion and think, they must have made a mistake. You achieve a goal and tell yourself, anyone could have done this. You compare yourself to others and assume they know way more than you do. This is a form of confirmation bias. Your brain filters out evidence of your competence and only focuses on moments of self-doubt. How to fight it? Write down 3 achievements you're proud of. Look at them when you feel like a fraud. Realize that most successful people feel this way. Even CEOs, artists, and leaders experience imposter syndrome. It's a sign that you're growing, being hijacked by biases. Your brain doesn't just control your decisions, it also affects how happy you feel. The hedonic adaptation. Why you always want more. Remember how excited you were when you got your new phone, car, or job. Now it just feels normal. That's hedonic adaptation. Your brain quickly gets used to good things, making them feel less exciting over time. You achieve a goal, but instead of feeling satisfied, you just set a new goal. You buy something nice, but the excitement wears off fast. You think, once I have X, I'll be happy. But when you get it, you just want something else. How to fight it? Instead of chasing more, practice gratitude. Actively appreciate what you have. Focus on experiences, not things. Memories bring longer-lasting happiness than material objects. How to take back control? Your cognitive biases run your life, unless you learn to spot them. They influence your money, relationships, self-worth, and happiness without you even realizing it. But the good news? Now you know, and once you see the illusion, you can break free from it. Here's your challenge. Start questioning your thoughts. Before making a decision, ask, is this logic or just my brain taking a shortcut? When you feel angry, doubtful, or overconfident, pause and analyze why. Train yourself to see reality more clearly, because the more aware you are, the better choices you'll make. And that's the key to a smarter, happier, and more successful life. By now, you know that your brain is constantly tricking you. Cognitive biases shape the way you see the world, make decisions, and even feel about yourself. But here's the thing. Just because your brain has these tendencies doesn't mean you have to be controlled by them. You can train yourself to recognize these illusions, challenge them, and make better choices. So how do you actually escape the mental traps and see the world more clearly? Let's break it down into 3 steps: awareness, questioning, and reprogramming. Step 1, be aware of your biases. You can't change what you don't see. The first step to breaking free is awareness. Most of the time, we go through life on autopilot. We don't realize that our brain is filtering reality, twisting information, and leading us toward biased thinking. The moment you notice a bias, though, you create a gap between thought and reaction. That's the space where you can choose differently. How to build awareness? 1. Catch yourself in the act. The next time you feel completely sure about something, pause and ask, am I seeing the full picture? Am I only paying attention to things that confirm what I already believe? Confirmation bias. Am I making a decision just because I've already spent time, money on it? Sunk cost fallacy. 2. Write down your thought patterns. Keep a journal of decisions and emotions. This helps you spot patterns in your thinking. Example: if you find yourself dwelling on negative experiences way more than positive ones, you might be trapped in negativity bias. 3. Expose yourself to different perspectives. Read articles, watch videos, or listen to people who disagree with you. Instead of getting defensive, ask, what if they have a point? Am I rejecting this idea just because it challenges my beliefs? Once you start noticing your biases, you can start questioning them. Step 2, question your thoughts. Your thoughts are not always facts. Just because something feels true doesn't mean it is. The second step to seeing through cognitive biases is learning how to challenge your thoughts, how to question your own thinking. 1. Ask yourself, what would a neutral observer think? Imagine a completely unbiased third party looking at your situation. Would they see things the same way? Or would they have a more balanced perspective? Example: if you assume someone ignored your text on purpose, a neutral observer might say, or maybe they were just busy. 2. Flip the situation. Perspective shift technique. Let's say you're angry at someone for making a mistake. Now flip the roles. Imagine you made the same mistake. Would you judge yourself harshly? This helps break the fundamental attribution error, where we assume others are bad people, but excuse our own behavior. 3. Think in probabilities, not absolutes. Instead of thinking, this always happens to me, ask, what are the actual odds of this being true? Am I just remembering the bad moments and ignoring the good ones? This is especially useful for fears, anxiety, and negative thinking. Once you start questioning your thoughts, the final step is rewiring your brain for better thinking. Step 3, reprogram your brain. Upgrade your mental software. Your biases are like bad habits. They've been programmed into you over time. But the good news? You can rewire your brain to think more clearly and rationally. Here's how. 1. Train yourself to look for opposite evidence. Your brain naturally wants to confirm what you already believe. So force yourself to look for the opposite. Example: If you think I always fail, make yourself list 3 times you succeeded. If you believe people are selfish, find examples of kindness. Doing this weakens the bias and helps you see a more balanced reality. 2. Slow down your decision-making. Cognitive biases happen because our brain wants to make fast decisions. The solution? Slow down. Before making an important choice, ask, am I reacting emotionally or thinking logically? Is my brain jumping to conclusions? Would I still make this choice if I had more time to think? Even taking 30 seconds to pause can help you avoid bad decisions. 3. Use the 10-10-10 rule. When your brain tells you that something is a huge deal, try this trick. Ask yourself, will this matter in 10 minutes? Will this matter in 10 months? Will this matter in 10 years? Most of the time, you'll realize you're overreacting. This helps you break negativity bias and see things with a bigger perspective. So here's your challenge. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Question what your brain tells you. Rewire yourself to think in a smarter, clearer way. Because the moment you see through the illusion, you take control of your mind. And when do you take control of your mind? You take control of your entire life. So next time you're absolutely sure about something, pause, think, question. Because the smartest people in the world aren't the ones who always believe they're right. They're the ones who are willing to ask, what if I'm wrong? And that's where true wisdom begins. If you found this video eye-opening, hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the psychology of the mind. Let's start seeing the world more clearly together.